Can you hear me? Hello? You can't hear me? Yo, get get a load of this shit. All right. So I don't know what that was about, but I'm looking at some woods. I lost my headphones. I had woods. Anyway, um, yeah. So I'm out here. You probably hear me with the rustling of leaves. Now, I'm not lost. I'm okay. We here now. Uh, no, occasionally I'll do like I can't look like a man of the wilderness. Um, I was just doing it radio style for once, but we're talking about people in the live stream world like Russell Cook, Sam Hill, Jarva, Unbleached, you know. Um, and I think that these people, well, I don't think it, I know that these people have done a lot for the world of stream. David Walsh as well. There's a whole collection of people who really matter, and I think they've not been given their due. And I think that they will eventually, over time. I was watching, what was it? Paul Rodriguez. He was on, of all things, he was on the Burt cast, Burt's cooking show, I believe it's called. Um, don't burn things or something. And he was burning bridges. No, I don't know the name of the show. Anyway, um, something's burning. That's the name of it. And so, the show, he's talking to his friend, um, Paul Rodriguez and Chris Cole. Now, if you don't know who they are skateboarders, famous skateboarders. But, the interview really didn't. Of course, it's a plus if you like skateboarding. It's it's awesome and it's like useful, but the takeaway from it really could be helpful for anyone. Um, like one of the things that Paul Rodriguez says is that there was a quote from what's his name, Kobe Bryant. He said, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." You know, and that means, you know, a lot of things that people refer to as luck really only showed up because you were on the grind and you were making the effort to get shit done. You know, because there's a lot of conversations about even the whole like nepotism thing with families with like Kardashians and stuff, and I don't follow that kind of stuff. But at a certain point, there's people who are going to want to work for it, and the people who are not going to want to work for it. A better example might be Tiffany Haddish, somebody who lived in her car for years and years and years, and once she got famous, people were like, "Oh, you got so lucky. Can't believe you're so lucky you're famous." And she's like, "Bitch, I lived in a fucking car for 8 years. I wasn't lucky. I was determined. I was working hard to get where I wanted to go." So when somebody's focused on actually doing something, it's got a lot more to do with that than, and luck can come into play, but the point is that the luckiest people are the people who keep showing up. You know, you can't win, and this isn't an endorsement of the lottery or gambling or anything, but you can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. And buying a ticket is showing up and doing whatever the hell your thing is, whether it's streaming, um, you know, you're a sport. Let's say you're a basketball player, or let's say you play guitar. If you keep showing up, opportunities show up. You know, like when I was doing stand up, um, I was like, how do you get booked on shows? How does it happen? I don't understand. And then I realized, oh, you just keep, if you show up, eventually you're going to bump into somebody and they're going to say, "Hey, I do this show. Come on down, do this, you know, do this room at a sports bar." And then you do the sports bar and somebody says, "Oh, interesting. Let me book you at this party." You know, that's how it works. You just kind of go from, you show up, you have determination, you have an idea, and then you just keep doing the thing that you're doing. And yeah, of course, it helps if you like have an idea of exactly what you want to accomplish. But more important, so Paul Rodriguez, getting back to him, um, he was saying talent isn't the talent. Courage. No, what did he say? He said talent isn't the talent. Commitment is the talent. And what he meant was, okay, you might say that you have talent, but are you showing up? Are you consistently bringing it? Are you showing us your talent? Or do you just have talent and it wasting away? You know, because you might be born with photographic memory and an ability to, you know, see things and draw it and perfectly. But if you're not actually doing that, then nothing is created. You know, every art form. I'm trying to cover every single art form when I talk about it. But good to see you guys. Jay, Betty Spaghetti, Stella. what I'm you know what I'm wanting to do is really get after it, you know. I just feel like it is one of those things that um, there's been kind of a vacuum of people in this group. What up, Tip Mafia? Betty says it's easier to criticize than create. So that's an interesting point, and that's something that's a point that I've wrestled with quite a bit. And what I mean by that is, we see people who their whole existence, or their not their whole existence, but the shows that they create are basically focused on criticism. So a show like Red Bar, a show like I don't know if ROTC fits that description or not. Shows that are all about trashing other people. Um, Now there can be an art to that, but there is a point where you start to think, okay, when you're talking shit on Bill Burr on SNL, you realize you couldn't do what he does, right? You know, sure, like you might catch him in a bomb on stage, but could you even do the things that get you up onto that stage? And I'm not, I like Red Bar, so that was kind of a, you know, unnecessary slam. But I'm just saying that that mindset in general, of of yeah, it's just shitting on other people, and yeah, okay, roasting people, that can be fun. But I do. It is nice to see somebody be like, "Here's what I can do," before they shit on other people. You know, let's see that you have an impressive ability to entertain, create art, etc. before you start saying this guy sucks, because that's kind of a get out of jail free card. I admit it's very clever. Sites like um, these websites like they cover the drama. Not websites like uh, Too Lazy to Try does this kind of thing, where he just talks about, this guy sucks at this guy sucks at that. ROTC was really good, but they got too into drama. I think drama doesn't have longevity. We're human, so the drama sucks us in. Yeah, so it's like, um, I don't mind drama. You know what it is? It's the people who think that the people who are always pointing fingers, who don't realize that they're doing the same shit. You see people out here saying, "Oh, this guy's a doxer. This guy's a pervert. This guy is um, hateful and racist and hates women," you know? And then you find out that that same guy or girl does all that shit, and they have no self-awareness or ability to understand. Like, you know, it reminds me of when I went to a job, like first day on the job, and a woman was like, "Oh, good. All right. So it's good you're here because you're not a creep like Paul over there. It's good to not have a creep around." And I'm thinking, you just met me. I don't. Not saying let's decide later if I'm a creep. You don't know shit about me, you know. I'm not going to say I am, but I'm not going to, you look at a person, you just meet a person, how the hell do you know shit about them? It's like strangers will often say stuff that basically, you know, weird you out. Like, you just meet a person. I met a guy for the first time, and he started talking about my dad never loved me. He never cared about me. He never understood me. And I was thinking, like, this is interesting stuff, but why are you telling me on the first time that we met? Do you really think that it's worthwhile to be doing this? Are you really the type of person who just wants to? And it maybe I felt bad. I felt like I thought lesser of this guy because of who he portrayed himself to be. Um, but yeah, I think just like the internet, the internet is like a mirror. Yeah, it's. So I start thinking, oh, what am I up to? What kind of shit is wrong with me? And I also see, I also hate, hate. I don't know. Hate is an overused word, but in other people, you find people who have this desire to, like, it's all. I'm not saying I don't have an ego, right? Anybody who knows me probably knows that I have some level of an ego but there's some people around here who I just would like to talk to and understand where they're coming from. What I mean by that is, we talk to people like, well, like I think the whole the whole thing with Limonade was crazy. I've had to look at myself and I didn't like the reflection. So in that respect, if you're willing, you can actually address yourself. Oh yeah, I mean, look, if you if you are the type of person who has self-awareness, you it can be a blessing and a curse. It can definitely be an asset if you do it properly, but maybe make you change certain behaviors. You don't want to be too maybe self-aware, not self-conscious to the point where you're like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm a freak, you know. But it's always, you know, like a good dose. I don't know what I don't know. You guys know I'm no psychological expert. I'm no psychiatrist, but yeah, a fine line. And it's. But I see people, and I just want to question them, like um, the whole Limonade thing that happened, where for years, and Sam has 3 master's degrees. Well, maybe he could talk on this subject then. Um, this whole thing of Antu teaching credentials, amazing, wonderful. So he's a psychological genius in this world. So maybe he could understand and explain this idea, this fixation that folks have had on Limonade to the point, they spent how many years, trashing her. Oh, yeah, and I'm not even like the whole thing with me and her. That's one thing. What I'm talking about actually is the concerted effort of this group, RDA, for years and years to just go after her like she was the worst person on the planet. It was this weird targeted thing, and I feel like I never really understood it. It's to the point where they had a separate YouTube channel. They had their own merchandise. He's literally selling a coffee cup that says like milking Limonade. So, I mean, speaking of milking, he really is milking this premise just to the extreme. And you've got people like Kenny saying, all we did was moo. But yeah, I mean, the idea of like making a moo sound at a woman, if you don't understand why that's rude, why that's if you're friends, whatever. But if you're doing it in a shitty way, if you it's not that hard to understand why saying moo to somebody over and over again is a little degrading, insulting. And yes, that's what they do. We all have rooms in their Discord. Yeah, and I'm not saying like I'm surprised. What I'm trying to say is like that's not, I don't know, it just feels like this obsession is really weird. Is really a weird obsession with this one person. I mean, I think that if anybody should be making money off it, Limonade should at least be getting 50% of the cut from the merchandise. It's like, and the guy, like the guy Ross, like he's not, you know, on air. If you ever confront him, he's always he's just very upset. Very good thing not to do around Lyman is call anyone a queen except for her, but on a positive note, she's a great singer. I don't know what that means. But all right, so you want to make fun of somebody, that's one thing, but they took it to an extreme where they actually framed her as being like this bad person who was like going after me inappropriately. At which, okay, fine, if you're like actually morally giving if you're somebody who gives a shit and cares about morals, fine. You want to stand on that hill and die on that hill, okay. But they don't have morals and they don't care. They just like to get a rise out of someone, and that's really all that they, that's all they're trying to do. And it's just, and then they say, "Oh, we didn't do anything." It's like, that's what I'm talking about. Peak lack of self-awareness. And that's who are they? Turkatron S. We're talking about RDA, a group of, I think when Ross was looking to make friends, he went for quantity, not quality. Um, you know, he wanted a lot of friends, and he didn't really think about, uh, do I want people who have good morals, who are worthwhile? No, I'd rather just have a bunch of people who suck my dick, right? So that's kind of the angle that he takes, and I think that, are we busting him? I think he's basically busted himself up. But I mean, I'm talking about him, sure. Usually, younger people go for making a lot of friends with no discernment. Yeah, there's definitely a youthful, not so bright. And I'm not saying I'm a genius. Let's relax. I'm not. I'm not on an ivory tower. Everybody who knows me knows I'm no genius. Sam Hill especially knows I'm not a genius. Compared to him, I'm a fucking guy who lives, you know. Well, I was gonna say I'm homeless, but there's probably genius homeless people. Anyway, my point is, there's people out there like these RDA folks and Turkatron. Yeah, does it amaze you that I'm not a 3-digit IQ? I mean, if I'm lucky, maybe I am a 3-digit IQ. Maybe I'm a two. Maybe I'm 1 digit. The point is that I'm looking to just address, like, why are these people still around, and when do they when are they ready to give it up? Because I think that um the a three asking if I'm actually homeless. I'm mentally homeless, as Jesse PS says. Oh, I just saw a squirrel. I'm starting to think the homeless life. Now, this isn't a real thought. This is a kind of a joke, but like, the homeless life may have its benefits, like seeing squirrels and seeing the wilderness. Um, you know, you look around, you see birds. You don't see any of that shit when you're in an apartment. You got to watch TV, unless you're one of those people who grabs animals out of the dark and you know finds whatever. So what I'm trying to say is that um, when you're looking to do something, when you're looking to be homeless, it's not such a bad choice. Yeah, Peanut we're talking about. There was no evidence that this squirrel was a threat to anyone. There was no reason to believe that it had rabies, but they just went in there and they did what they did. They killed it to do the test. I gotta say that fucking there has got, how the hell have we not? We can test for so many diseases. Um, Squirrels don't carry rabies, really? Then what did they do? Okay. So all right. So I'm getting a little distracted by Turkatron talking about me getting kicked out of my house. I never said I was kicked out of my house. I just happened to be outdoors because I feel I feel like being outside. Anyway, um, Peanut. Let's get back to it. Um, we're talking about the fact that Peanut was taken out of the home, that he or she, I actually don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but This squirrel said, uh, did I really say that? This squirrel said, see how maybe the outdoors is, maybe living outside is danger because you start saying weird shit. You can live in a tent in my backyard. Okay, thank you. I'm getting all these offers to live in people's houses. You know what? I guess if you have Wi-Fi, you can get a chance to not be homeless. Uh, so I think that people, uh, you know, talking about government overreach and the squirrel and the whole thing with Peanut the squirrel, like, yeah, if you don't even have a reason to believe that anything's wrong, then why are you making such a big deal about somebody just doing what they're doing? You know, having a pet. I mean, I didn't know much about squirrels. I didn't know if they bite or like what they do. But more importantly, like we have got to figure out a way that you can test animals for rabies without killing them, right? Or like, I don't know, can you give them a shot for it? I just don't understand. Tony is Sam Hill's alter ego. Is that like are we talking Tony Hinchcliffe? What are we talking about here? Um Meanwhile, New Yorker. So this happened in New York? Is that what you're saying? Because and then it became a party issue, right? Like Republicans, Democrats, whose party is the worst? Who did this and that? People in New York are getting stabbed in the neck. Yeah. Wow. By other humans. Yeah, you're right. They really give it more of a shit about whose squirrel. You know, is that like they're like, okay, I could either take this gig, which is a stabbing, or I could go for the easy one today. Let's take this guy's squirrel away. Like, huh. I don't know. Um, I'm a little confused, right? Like, and the fact that it is a rescue ranch, makes it even less. That makes even less sense because what are we doing at this point, right? Like, why would we be worried about an animal ranch? Like, let's say it's a regular apartment. Still, you should have the right to have the squirrel, but it makes even less sense if it's an animal place. Um, oh, the whole. I don't see how Tony helped. I don't feel like Tony helped or hurt the election. He was just. I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. That was just like. I mean, of course, if Trump lost the election, people would blame it on Tony Hinchcliffe. But since he won, it's not really, people don't really give a shit. In fact, the latest Kill Tony that I listened to, he was on it. Now, you know what's interesting? The Tony character, Sam's Tony character is very left wing, but Sam Hill is, I mean, Tony is very right wing, but Sam Hill is very left wing. So it's a split political personality. Sam will hang out. He's like the guy on Kill Tony. He says, Tony, I'm telling you for the last time, this is going to be gold. He said, what did he say? Tony, that's accurate. If you insult Tony, all he says is, that's accurate. Hey, Tony, you're ugly. That's accurate. And then if you do something wrong, he's like, Sam, I'm telling you, you got to vote for Trump. And Sam says, Tony, you're ugly. Oh, that's accurate. Sam is always, what else does Sam talks about like looking around the corner. I don't know why he always likes to say that's accurate. That's accurate. I'm telling you, Sam, I'm telling you, for the last time, you gotta get a microphone. That's accurate. I don't even know what that voice is. Like, is that like is it Chicago? Is Tony from Chicago? That's accurate. Hey, you're a big piece of shit. You got to get off cough medicine. That's accurate. Yeah, that will be my catchphrase. Anybody slams, hey, HB, you sound Jewish. That's accurate. Hey, you look like you've been eating a little too much Twinkies. That's accurate. I understand how these catchphrase people get famous now. Now what I do want to know is, where do we go from there? Like if because I noticed that Tony was, yeah, okay, he's from Chicago, or allegedly from Chicago. But why is he always telling people stuff? Sam, I'm telling you for the last time. I don't know. We'll revisit that and figure it out. I heard RFK is going on a fat tour of the U.S.'s most unhealthy states. The poison fatty foods stops with him. I'm looking forward to this. All right, so interesting. I would say that I think that RFK is gonna make us all thin again. Did you see that picture when he was forced to eat a fucking McDonald's burger, a chicken Big Mac with Trump and everybody, just to prove his loyalty? Because a week before he said, all that stuff that Trump eats on his airplane, on his private jet, is all poison. It's gonna kill you. And then 2 days later, there's a shot of him, Elon Musk, Trump, and somebody else all sitting there just thinking, eating these sandwiches, these super unhealthy sandwiches. And that there's no way that RFK would have wanted to do that. It was just, it's like if you're if you're George Costanza and you want your sitcom made by the network, you drink the orange juice at the meeting just to be agreeable so that they'll give you your deal. And he's like, all right, if I eat a Big Mac, chicken Big Mac, then Trump will put me on his board. Yeah, I'll feel like shit for a few hours, but in the end, everything will be okay. See, I don't know. I mean, it was just like, who knows if he even ate it? Like, he might have just done it for the picture. It was definitely, if he ate it, it was a strategic meal. If you eat it, you win Trump over. If you don't eat it, you look better for the optics. There's really no winning. If you do it, you're a son of a gun. If you don't do it, you're a son of a gun. You know, I would like to find out. I don't know. I feel a little more optimistic towards RFK than I do towards Elon Musk. I don't know if he's really knowing if he really knows what he's doing with finances. I feel like he's really rich, but that doesn't necessarily mean that running a government finances is his forte. Running a company is all about efficiency and cutting corners. If you're running a country, I mean, sure, you want efficiency, but you don't want to cut corners when it comes to getting things done properly. You're the ones that make the laws, not the ones that break the laws, as people say. But anyway, we got Russell Cook and Sam Hill, two of the horsemen. Is Poon sick? What happened to Poon? Oh, wait a second. Is Poon talking shit? What's going on here? Okay. We don't need to talk. What's up Poon's ass today? I didn't realize there was so much fighting in the chat. Anus handler. I don't know a lot about and is RFK gonna be going after meth? Yeah, if meth makes you attack people for being autistic, I don't think it's a good drug. Let's not go after people for that behavior. I mean, let's not do that behavior. I don't like the idea that a guy with a listen, I don't like that kind of talk because specifically he has a wrench. So that's even, that's even worse because no, I'm not trying to make a big deal. I'm just saying, where did it happen? Where did it come from? Did Poon get? Because usually Poon is having a good day, having a good time and doing amazing. You have a wonderful day as well. Yeah, a lot of people are dealing with, the new change of things. RFK is showing up. He's going to be doing what he does. And, whatever it happens to be, I don't know. It is weird. I heard about Joe Rogan made a big deal about how he couldn't show up to see Kamala do an interview. He couldn't fly there to do an interview. But now he's flying to Mar-a-Lago to do an interview with Trump. So I don't think that flying was ever an issue. I think that he simply had a person in mind that he was going to, Harris. I didn't know I had to say the whole name, Tony. Tony, I'm telling you, her name is Kamala Harris. And by the way, the way that people say her name is very different. I've heard people say Kamala, and I've heard people say what's the word? Kamala. I heard Kamala. My rhythm is slowing down. Listen, Tony, I'm telling you, back off. I need some speed. Kamala twat woman? I don't know what that means. But you're getting me off track here. He's a pussy. Well, she does have a pussy. But the point is, okay, Poon was my first interview. Let's talk about it, Russell Cook. I just wanted to say one last thing about the Kamala thing, and then we'll get into this Poon conversation. Kamala was supposed to be interviewed on Joe Rogan, and it was supposed to happen, and it never happened. And people were wondering, well, what the hell? What's going on? And, well, it turns out that nobody actually, cared. He didn't actually want to go there, but he acted like, oh, I just don't have the time. No, you just didn't feel like doing it, Here's the thing, right? I'm not saying that Kamala is entitled to an interview no matter what. What I'm trying to say is that Joe Rogan is such a bullshitter for ever saying that he wasn't like a certain political party. In fact, he said that his boss made him endorse Trump, which is a weird power move, right? Imagine if your boss is like, hey, if you don't say that George Bush is the next president, then you're going to go to hell. We're going to fire you. Yeah, Rusters is the interview show. Try and keep up, kid. So, wait, better living through chemistry. What is that? Is that a is that like a tagline for some kind of science company. Poon was your first interview. What are you talking about? Oh, you have a new channel, Russell? Do you have a channel where you have another Rusters? The Ropers, to the Busters 3 company. Exactly. It's a spinoff. It's a Rusters. Let me explain Rusters for the universal audience. So Busters is a show that we've done since 2018, on and off. It's 6 years. Rusters is a new show. So Busters was myself, Sam Hill, Russell Cook, Jarva. We all did a show together called Busters. Rusters is a new show, a new era, a spin-off, so to speak. And it is an interview show where Russell Cook is the host, and he will ask people questions. I hope that I've summed it up correctly. Maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's less to it. Russell, you have got to tell us. And yeah, if you would like, Russell, if you would like me to, you know, save the Rusters shows and send them your way to put on a separate channel, you could do that as well. We've been trying, so I guess next week, maybe what, on a Monday, we do Rusters. So Tony, I'm telling you, let's talk to Sam Hill. Does Sam Hill think that Rusters could be a good reliable scheduling from HB? Tony, I'm telling you, I'm good at this. Tom Snyder's Tomorrow Show. All right. Well, Peepers can be the Russell show on the Sam Hill channel. You know, Sam Hill has been given the credit. We'll give you the credit that you deserve, Tony or Sam. Sam, I'm telling you. So who is that, by the way, is that a condition for Sam Hill to be interviewed, that in order to be interviewed, you have to change the name of the show to Peepers? Nonetheless, yeah, let's figure this out. How about, Russell, whenever you when whenever you want to interview Sam for the Ruster show, go right ahead and do that, because we'll be ready. We will be ready. So if you want to do it, universal love. If you want to do it whenever your Thanksgiving has been given, whenever your thanks has been given, then that's when we will go. So Sam Hill is it looking like Sam Hill is the next interview subject for the show? If so, we'll see how that goes and see what happens with it. Yeah, we're gonna make things make streaming amazing again. But him and so you can interview the crew. Okay, so you would want to have Sam and Jarva on the same episode as interviewees. Okay. All right. We could make that happen on. Let me just look here. Okay. All right. So let's say we do this on on December 9th. Does that work for you guys? Oh, individually. All right. So who's going to be on the show? So wait, let me. So Sam is really pushing this. This Peepers name. Russell has already called it Rusters. But December 9th will be fine. All right. One-on-one interview. Okay. So, who's Shamrock? And why is he more important to interview than Sam Hill? I don't know. I don't know what Shamrock is, but I've heard of. Oh, she. Okay. She's an Irish lady. Oh, or she's new partner, really? Wait, so is Peepers? Wait a second. Is Peepers a separate show from Busters? Rusters. I'm so confused. Like, um, yeah, I'm trying to understand. Is Peepers a okay? So Peepers is a show co-hosted by Russell Cook and Shamrock. Is that what's going on here? Okay. I'm just trying to understand because the universal audience has been waiting and wondering. Okay, have you done this Peepers stream before? Because this is fascinating. I'm always fascinated, but I'm even more fascinated by a wonderful live stream. All right. Thank you. folks. Let's do an amazing stream. Thank you for watching. I think that it is time. This is the Ruster song. All right, and we are out. Thank you for watching.